8.2 pounds in 5 days. She did that 2 meals a day. I almost caved. This was such a big win. Girl, get in here. I was doing my thing this week. Okay, hyper ketosis. She did that. Okay, yep. 8 pounds, 5 days. How did y'all do? Let's get into it. Hi friends. So I made a call to you all last week and I said, listen, I want you all to join this with me. Get on, let's do hyper ketosis for 5 days. See how we feel at the end of the week, and then we'll reassess. And so many of you in the comments said you were going to join me, and I'm so excited to hear how your week went as I share with you how my week went. It went really, really well. I filmed, of course, everything I ate, and here are the guidelines that I followed. I did 2 meals a day. I fasted anywhere between 16 and 18 hours a day. I did 4 ounces of protein, well, give or take 4 ounces of protein at each meal, at least a cup of veggies and a cup of fruit. Those are the guidelines that I followed. And my fruit was keto friendly fruit, which means it was all berries, because like apples and peaches and stuff like that does have a lot of sugar in it, but I prefer to just keep the fruit more keto friendly. But hyperketosis, like one of my really good friends, Keita, who created an amazing guide all about hyperketosis. She has lost over 65 pounds. The link to her guide is in the description box. But when she does hyperketosis, she eats, whatever fruit is on the list, which is like an apple or peaches or anything like that, which you typically would stay away from when you're eating ketogenically. But it worked for her. But for me, I like to keep it low sugar. So those are the guidelines I did Monday through Friday. Again, 2 meals a day. I'm not gonna lie though, girl, it wasn't easy. I had my weak moments where I almost caved, but I'm so glad I didn't. I'm so glad I was able to keep this promise to myself, because honestly, it raises your confidence. And this was such a big win. You know, so many times we just don't keep the promises that we make to ourselves, which literally takes a dig at our confidence every single time we break those promises. So that's enough of me yapping. Let's go ahead and see what I ate all week. Good morning, y'all. It's day 1. Getting ready to weigh in. I just weighed in. I usually weigh in first thing in the morning as soon as I wake up, butt naked. My face is right up here, but all right, let's get started. Day 1 of 5. I look crazy. I still have my bonnet on because I have to take my braids down, but getting ready to have my black coffee, my first cup. I usually have like a cup and a half or 2 cups. Well, really this is I don't know how many. It's more than 8 ounces though. I'm sure it's like 10 to 12 ounces. This is a pretty big mug. I finished one 32 ounce. This is a 32 ounce, right? I don't know. This one's my husband's. 32 ounce bottle of Owala. See, there's just a little bit of water left. I will refill that. My goal is to have 5 of these, 5 32 ounces. So how many? Yeah, I think that's right? Let me do the math on that. Yes, I would like to I would like to have at least at a minimum 5 of these, but if I can do 6, that would be even better. Time check, it is 11:19. Still have not eaten anything. I'm not hungry because we actually ate dinner kind of late last night. I made chili. We had family dinner at my mom's. I made chili and cornbread and it was delicious. It was a wonderful meal. All right, y'all, first meal of the day is just 2 boiled eggs because honestly, I'm not that hungry at all. Let's see what time it is. It is 12:57 and it's always easy on the first day, y'all. So just take advantage of it. Just eat when you're hungry. You know, to be honest, I'm being honest, I haven't been good on my water. I haven't even refilled it since the last time I was on here. So I'm going to refill this so I can at least drink this down before it's time for dinner. Oh, if you're wondering, this is just a little Celtic sea salt with 2 hard-boiled eggs. It is 3:45 and I only had 2 of these, so I better get going. Hello. So I am going to be preparing these. It's 5:30 already. It's later than I wanted it to be, but I'm going to be preparing these Brussels sprouts to eat. I am just going to go ahead and cook all of them because we can just eat off the leftovers whenever we need an extra veggie. So I'm just dicing them in half, cutting the end off, dicing them in half. And then I'm going to put them in the microwave for a few minutes and then I'll finish them off. Now remember, with hyperketosis, there's no oils, no butter, no oil, no ham, no nothing. So I am going to saute these. First of all, I'm making the burgers, and I'll probably use the grease from the burger to make these, and then I'll just like deglaze the pan with like a little bit of beef or chicken broth, and just season them and go from there. Actually, these will probably be good with just like steam them in some beef broth. Actually, that would be good too, but we'll just see. I don't know. I don't think I've ever made these before. I'm gonna wash these again because these are like kind of dirty. I've never made them on hyper ketosis. I know I make them when I'm eating ketogenically, which is like I fry them in bacon fat. They're really good, actually. And so, I don't know, we'll see. All right, so before I put my Brussels sprouts in the microwave for a couple minutes just to soften them up, I'm gonna weigh out my meat to make sure that my husband and I have, 4 ounces of meat. Now, remember when you cook your meat, a lot of the water is going to dry off. So I'm going to make them like, I don't know, maybe 1 big patty, or should I do 2 big patties? 2 patties, excuse me. I might do 2 patties. So 2 ounces each. Let's see, what's that? Let me zoom in a little bit. I'm using my knuckles here. So 2 patties will make it 9 ounces. I think this is a pound that I have here. No, that's too big. Because once you can weigh, you really should weigh your meat after it's cooked. But since I'm making patties, I need to have some sort of reference, There we go. That's 9 ounces there. So that will make for 2 4-ounce patties, or 4 2-ounce patties. Right? Yeah, a little bit more than 2 ounces because, we're accounting for we're accounting for the water that will be cooked out of it. So let me go ahead and wash my hands. I am going to put some jalapeno on the burger because, again, remember, we can't use any seasoning that has any sugar in it. So I'm just going to keep it really simple with salt, pepper, and garlic. You can use smoked paprika. But all those like kind of burger seasonings and stuff like that, or barbecue seasonings, always has sugar in it. I typically use Flavor Bomb. Love this stuff. But like the number 1 ingredient is sugar. Or number 2 is sea salt and then sugar, and then brown sugar. So you definitely don't want to do that. But yeah, like I said, I'm just going to do onion powder, garlic powder, salt, pepper. And that's it, okay? Now, I also have some diced up onion I can put in there. I also have some diced up bell pepper I can put in there just to make it, I don't know, better. I probably will saute maybe the onions and peppers separately because I already diced them up. I just had some left over from when I cooked over the weekend. So I'm just going to season these up. The rest of this I will make for my kids. They were going to have burgers, but with Hawaiian rolls. And I'll show you what else they're going to have because I have a little hack for you guys. All right, y'all. Sorry I was on the phone. I usually film with my phone. But anyway, I got my Brussels sprouts in here. And I didn't add anything extra to the pan. I just seasoned it with salt, pepper, garlic, onion powder. And I'm just sauteing it in like the leftover grease from me making our burgers. I made the girls their burger. And I'm warming up their fries in the air fryer. As I was saying, this is a great hack for $26.99. You get look at all that protein. And so my husband and I will be eating this for lunch, as well as like another veggie and the fruit. And then my kids will eat the potatoes. Like, this is a quick and easy meal. Of course, I will weigh the chicken out. But like for those chicken breasts, I mean, especially if you're like, short on time and you feel like you just don't have the energy, having something in the fridge like this at all times is perfect. It will set you up for success. So this is a great hack, and this is from Whole Foods. So I'm so glad I weighed this because look, 2 patties is only 2.9 ounces. I'm just gonna give my husband that, and then I'll make myself these extra 2 patties, but that's why it's important to weigh it again after you cook your meat to make sure that you get the 4 ounces. So this is what I'm going to eat tonight. Like I said, it's so important that you weigh your food. Anyways, all right, now I know to just make the patties a little bit bigger if I want to have 2. And then my Brussels sprouts turned out beautifully. Here is my plate. Yummy, yummy, yummy. No condiments. Nothing extra on here. I air fried these. That's why they look a little crispy. And that's it. Time check at 6:48. Yeah. And I'm having a bubbly. This is my favorite bubbly. It's Bellini Bliss. It's really good. There are the macros. Good morning, friends. Happy Tuesday. I got my little partner here. We went on an early morning walk. We just finished jogging around this body of water. I wouldn't call it a lake. It's not that big, but we just want to come up and watch the sunrise and look at the pretty trees. I love when the sun like kisses the top of the trees as it's coming up. It's really nice. We're just gonna be out here for it is cold. For us here in Georgia, it's cold. It's like 48, which is pretty cold. For us, it's like definitely fall now. But let me show you what I'm talking about. You see the top of the trees? It's so pretty. It looks so much prettier in person. It looks fake. Yeah, it does. The tree of life. So, anyways, we're out here and we'll be going home soon to start our day. We just wanted to start it off with a nice brisk walk. Hey y'all, so it is 11:37 and I'm hungry, girl. I am hungry. And if you're watching this, listen, day 2 is always the hardest because, listen, the reality starts kicking in. And it is what it is. We just have to stay strong. I'm ready to eat though. I'm just folding my clothes. I'm going to go down and get ready to make breakfast. I have had 1 cup of coffee, black coffee, but girl, I'm ready to eat. All right, thanks to Whole Foods, I got my chicken already prepped. I have 4 ounces. This is the leftover hamburger from last night. And then I have chicken. So altogether it's 4 ounces, which is what I need. I have a leftover Brussels sprouts, green beans, and then I got my fruit here. Yeah. So this is my husband's plate. It looks so good, doesn't it? He wanted to just have 2 eggs with his, and I gave him a little bit of the chicken too, as well as his berries and Brussels sprouts and green beans. And this is so good. This plate is not big either. See, here's my hand. There's the size of the plate. It's like a smaller plate. That's why it looks so full, but yummy. Let me show you mine. Here's my plate. This is a burger from last night. I showed you the protein, berries, Brussels sprouts, and green beans. Time check, it's 12:23. This is only my 2nd bottle. I'm starting my 2nd bottle and it's 2:20 already. And I have tennis tonight, so I gotta get on it. Here we go. More chicken. Okay, she's basic, but she gets the job done. Time check, it's 6:20. Good morning, friends. I'm just now getting up. Me and Ava and Charles were just cuddling in the bed this morning. But I'm feeling good this morning. Yesterday was kind of tough. It was hard. The second day is always hard, though. I know that. I'm glad I didn't give in, though. Really, really glad I didn't give in. I didn't drink enough water, so I'm really going to be pushing the water today and drinking as much water as I need to be. Because I think I only did like, how many of those? I did like 2.5. And that's not enough. I need to be at like 5. So thankfully my tennis practice was canceled because of rain. I think they're going to try to reschedule it today. So I definitely need to make sure I'm drinking enough water. I'm hungry, y'all. It's been a very eventful day so far. It's only 12:46 and black coffee. I just made my husband breakfast. I just made him eggs and bacon because hyper ketosis is hard. It ain't for the weak, I'll say that. So right now I'm going to eat the last of our chicken from Whole Foods. It saved us, thankfully, and the green beans and some fruit. That'll be meal 1. For tonight, for dinner, I'm having steak and broccoli, like a stir fry, broccoli and beef and broccoli. I don't know how I'm gonna keto-fy it yet, but we'll figure it out when we get there. There we go. I weighed out my chicken, zeroed out the plate, of course. So that's the chicken I'm gonna have. All right, y'all, here is my plate. It's my hand, so that's why it looks bigger than what it actually is. But I got my fruit, my chicken, and my green beans. Time check, it is, what time is it, baby? I don't have my watch on. 12:57. 12:57. All right, y'all, I'm gonna get ready to make dinner. I bought this top round for stir fry or fajitas from Publix and broccoli. I'm gonna dice up an onion to put in here. Maybe I should add a bell pepper, probably just an onion. And I'll make rice for my girls if they want it. But let me go ahead and chop up my broccoli and then I'll show you how I'm gonna season everything. All right, y'all, I got my wet paper towel here because I'm cutting my onions, but my eyes were burning just a second ago, but I was just showing my cutting skills here. I love these knives. I got these from Costco, oh, gosh, around last year sometime. And then they come with like these little coverings here. They're by Schmidt Brothers. They are so good. I love them so much. German stainless steel. Anyways, all right, so I got my broccoli soaking so that they can be cleaned off. And I'm about to put my meat in the bowl here. Remember, we're gonna weigh our meat after we cook it. But I think I'm gonna like mix it all up with the broccoli and the onions and stuff like that. So I'll probably just have to eyeball it, you know, because this 1.16 pounds will probably end up weighing less than a pound. So once it's all cooked. All right, so what I'm going to add to my meat is a little bit of baking powder. There are no carbs in baking powder. I think this will help crisp up, like once the fat renders from the meat, it'll help it give it like a little bit of a crispiness to the outside of the steak. Onion powder, white pepper, ground ginger. I am gonna put a touch of sesame oil, just a little bit. Okay, I'm not gonna add any in the pan. It's just gonna be just a little bit to give me that kind of beef and broccoli taste and some rice vinegar. I won't add salt or soy sauce. I'll just wait and see if, I don't know, if we even need it. The liquid aminos may be enough. Ooh, let me put that much in there. And so let me just go ahead. I'm just gonna season with my heart. I watched a couple of videos and that's where I got learned to use the baking powder. I watched a couple of TikToks on like keto beef and broccoli. So I love ground ginger. And I also diced up quite a bit of fresh garlic. So I'm gonna put that, I'll put some of that in there too. There we go. There's the liquid aminos. If you've never had liquid aminos, it is a excellent soy sauce substitute. It doesn't have a lot of the crappy ingredients and not as much salt. It does have salt in it though, but I'm just gonna do that. And then a little bit of sesame oil. Ooh, my bad. I didn't even put that much in. And some rice vinegar, just a little bit. All right, I'm going to mix this up, get a glove and mix this up. Also, I have my wok. I'm gonna heat her up pretty high. Again, my broccoli is soaking in some baking soda and then I'll rinse, not baking soda, yeah, baking soda to kind of clean it off. And then I'll rinse it. All right, this is what she looks like. It smells really good, actually. I just wish I could add a little honey to this. Like if I wasn't doing hyper ketosis, I would add a little honey to it. You can add a sweetener. Let me see if I have any sweeteners. All right, I don't have any powdered sweetener or like a granule sweetener. I just have like, what is it, liquid stevia. So I'm not going to put any in here, but I'm just going to cook it and hope for the best. The pan is very hot. I don't have any grease or oil or anything in the pan. And I'm just going to brown this. All right, so I'm going to remove these, even though it's not fully cooked, which is fine, because I'm going to put them back in and cook them some more with the broccoli and onions. But I need to cook down the broccoli and onions first, and then I will add that in. I'll kind of let it all steam together. So in here I have a half a cup of beef stock, and then coconut aminos, and then soy sauce, because the coconut aminos is a little bit lighter than the soy sauce. So this is why I use the regular soy sauce to give me that dark color. So I would say it's like a quarter cup each. And so now I'm going to go ahead and pour this over my broccoli. All right, I'm also putting the rest of the minced garlic in here. I'm gonna let this simmer for a little bit. Hopefully when I add the beef, it'll thicken up a little bit. I might have to add like a cornstarch slurry. And I know cornstarch has carbs in it. Not a lot. I would just put a very tiny bit in here. All right, y'all. So I added the meat in. I did add a half a tablespoon of cornstarch and water to thicken it up. Sorry that my spatula is scraping. I know that annoys some people online. So I'm just gonna let the meat cook down to the rest, and then it's gonna be time to eat. Of course, taste it. See if it's for your liking. You may want to add more coconut aminos, more soy sauce, whatever floats your boat, but it smells really good. Alrighty, she's all done. It's a lot of liquid that came out, but this is the consistency of it. It's not too watery, not too thick. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a bowl full. All right, here are our bowlfuls. I'm so excited. I did not measure it tonight, only because with the liquid and the broccoli and onions, it's like I'm not going to get an accurate measurement, so I'm just going to eyeball it. This is my hubby's, this is mine, and we're going to go ahead and eat. Time check, it is 6:27. Good morning, friends. It is freezing here in Georgia. I got my winter robe on. I just wanted to say that, girl, we are more than halfway through, and I am so proud of you. I don't know what I'm gonna have for dinner tonight, but I gotta get some coffee because I'm cold. All right, y'all, I gotta figure out something for breakfast, and I don't know what I'm gonna eat for dinner tonight, but I think I'll do like chicken thighs, boneless, skinless chicken thighs, and fajitas. We'll make fajitas for my family, but I'll just have the peppers and chicken thighs. I'm honestly probably gonna have the same thing today. I have this that I bought at Publix. It was buy one, get one. I will saute this and just to make myself 4 ounces. And then I have a bell pepper. I have a jalapeno. I have some red onions. So I'll probably dice all that up. And then I have these leftover green beans from what I made the other night for my kids. Now I did make these in oil. I'm just gonna eat them because this is what I have left over as far as a vegetable, and then I'll have some blueberries, and that will be my first meal. So let me go ahead and get started. Okay, so since this is already smoked, I'm gonna go ahead and measure it because all I'm doing is pretty much just warming it up. It's already cooked. So I'm gonna brown it on both sides in the pan. This is exactly 4 ounces. This is how much I used. So I'm gonna slice this up, and then I have my pepper, I have some green onions, and I'll probably put a little bit of jalapeno in there. I probably won't use this because I don't wanna cut up a whole onion. All right, this is pretty basic, simple. I'm just, like I said, browning each side of the sausage. I put like a little bit of the bell pepper, tiny bit of jalapeno because I like a little spice. I did cut up the green onions, and I'll just sprinkle that on top once I turn the pieces over. And, you know, I might eat this with a little bit of mustard. I like mustard on my sausage, so yummy. I'm ready to eat. Alrighty, this smells really good. The green onions just really give it like a really fragrant yumminess. I like my sausages pretty crispy too. Zoom out a little bit. So this looks so good, y'all. I did not add any oil to the pan at all. This is just from the sausage. And I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of mustard on top. Oh, I'm so excited to eat this. And by the way, last night's dinner, hands down, was the best hyper ketosis meal I've made. That beef and broccoli was so good. My husband had like seconds. It was hard for me not to just want to finish it. But Ava did end up eating it because I wasn't sure if my girls were going to eat it, but she did end up eating it. So we don't have any leftovers, which is fine. But yummy, 10 out of 10, hands down recommend. So let me go ahead and get my mustard. I like Dijon mustard. Make sure it doesn't have any. Yep. Ingredients are good. Yeah, I like Dijon mustard on my sausage. It's actually really good. Only sausage that's like this, like an andouille sauce. Ugh, I hate mustard juice. Ew. There you go. Y'all, I'm ready. Time check, it is 12 o'clock on the dot. I've been pretty good at fasting for 17 and a half hours, 18 hours. So it feels pretty good for me to eat from 12 to 6. We are going to eat dinner a lot earlier today because we have someplace to be at 6. But usually I finish cooking at like, 6:30. By the time I'm done, it's like 7. So like 17 hours, 18 hours. I am really hungry though right now. And I've had 1.5 cups of black coffee. So again, time check, it's 12 and I'm ready to start the day. All right, y'all, I'm getting ready to make my fajitas. And I've made this many times on my channel. I'm going to try to make it as hyper ketosis friendly as I can. But listen, girl, you got to do what you got to do. In here, I have 1 large red bell pepper, a half of an orange bell pepper, from the rest of it from my breakfast this morning, 1 purple onion, and 1.5 jalapenos, I think. So now I'm going to slice up my chicken thighs, boneless skinless chicken thighs, and put them in here as well. I've already cleaned these. And now I'm going to slice these the same way that I sliced the peppers. All right, so I'm going to season everything with like taco seasoning, chili seasoning, cumin, salt, pepper, garlic, and onion powder. And then I'm going to drizzle it in a little bit of olive oil, just a little bit, and then toss it all around because you don't need a lot. And I know if you want to go fully hyper ketosis, then you don't need to add any oil. You can do it in chicken stock, but listen, I'm cooking for my family, so it's like I got to do what I got to do. I'm not going to have a tortilla with it though. All right, so I'm going to put just this much oil. This is avocado oil. I was going to use all of it. That's it. Now I'm going to mix it all up. All right. So this is how I mix it all up. I have a glove on because, ew, I hate raw chicken. Just mix it all up. Now just let this cook. It's only been a few minutes and this really cooks up pretty quickly. Just keep the heat on high and mix it around until it's all done. All right, so it's all done. It's been like 15 minutes. You see how much liquid comes off of this, but it's delicious. Again, you season it to your liking. You don't have to add as many peppers or onions. You know, that's just what my family likes. I'm going to warm up the tortillas. These are the tortillas that we're using. And put a little butter in the pan and roast these tortillas up, and then it'll be time to eat. So this is what I'm doing for my husband and daughter. Actually, let me put the meat in here first, and I'll show you. And then I'll put a little cheese. Oh, honey, can you get the cheese out of the fridge for me? Yeah. On here for them, like this. Which one? The shredded cheese. Yeah, that's perfect. All right, so I'm gonna do this. And then I have sour cream for them to put on. Can you open that for me, babe? Ooh, it's steaming. It's hot.
Trying to stop.
All right. Now, what we're going to do is close this baby up like so. Oh, sorry, the juice. The juice is coming out. Close it up like so. Let me zoom out. Ooh, not doing a good job on this one. And we're going to fry it up like this in some butter. Hold it. Right now that's on medium heat. I turn down the chicken and then just wait a few seconds for this to kind of close. This is kind of wide, but She only wants one, so I want to make sure she gets enough protein. And then we'll just wait a few minutes and then we'll flip it over. All right, this one isn't that great, but it's okay. It's still gonna get browned. Honey, hand me your plate, baby.
Okay.
And what she'll do is add some, please use a spatula, don't be like me, because my hands are hot. We'll drizzle some sour cream on top, and then that'll be Ava's. You like it, honey? Hi. All right, so this is mine. I really want to drizzle some sour cream on top, but I'm not. I do have some salsa. You gotta be careful with the salsa though, because tomatoes do have carbs in them. But I will put just a little bit of salsa on here. All right, this is how much salsa I'm putting on. Now, I typically would put a lot more on, and I would typically, if I was keto, just eat this on a tortilla, but it's okay. I'm gonna enjoy this. Time check, it's 5:53. Happy Friday. If I'm being honest, y'all, I did not have a good night last night. I just could not sleep. My mind was racing. I was starving. It was just really bad. I actually ended up coming downstairs just to walk around a little bit last night at like 2 in the morning, and I ended up having, sorry, hold on, I need my scissors. I ended up having some almonds, and I'll show you the almonds that I had. But I had to have something, y'all. It was either that or I was going to tear up this box of white cheddar Cheez-Its, and I didn't want to do that. So I'm proud of myself because, like I said, it was hard. I couldn't sleep. I think it was just because my cycle's getting ready to come on. It usually happens. But honestly, I didn't have PMS as bad as I would have it when I'm not eating ketogenically. I definitely think that I'm in ketosis for sure. I'm just gonna cut up the rest of this sausage, saute this. I'm running out of veggies. All I have left is this broccoli head that I'm gonna saute that we'll have with our fruit. Alrighty, here's breakfast for me and my hubby. This one's mine, this one's hubby's. I'm just gonna put some mustard, Dijon mustard on it, and that's gonna be our breakfast. Time check. It is 10:55. Y'all, it's been one crazy day. And this is what happens when you don't plan ahead of time. Okay. Oh, you know what? I can have the rest of the fajitas. Okay. So long story short, it's super late. It's like 8:30. I'm starving. All I've had is a few almonds. That's it. We just had a lot of ripping and running and running and ripping. Okay. So we ended up picking up wings. Let me show you what I got. Okay. So when you're in a bind and you have to eat, it's late and you can't cook anything. Okay. Get yourself some lemon pepper wings. That's the safest, not wet lemon pepper. Now, I live in Atlanta, which is the capital of lemon pepper wings. Okay, so you could get lemon pepper, hot lemon pepper, honey lemon pepper. You can get wet lemon pepper, dry lemon pepper. The safest thing for you to get is dry lemon pepper wings. That's what I got. I got 6 wings. I'm going to dip it in my blue cheese, and that's what I'm going to eat. Now, there are some fajitas, chicken fajitas left. My husband is not going to eat it because he ordered wings and a side with that. So he'll be good. I'm so hungry. I might eat a little bit of this fajita mix as well. I will show you guys the final product before I eat. Like I said, it's late. It's 8:30 already and we're just eating. But listen, girl, I'm just proud that I made it because it was hard. Okay, it was hard, but I promised myself that I'd get through these 5 days, and that's exactly what I'm doing. So let me go ahead and warm myself up. So happy, friends, we made it to the last meal. Now, I know this last meal here is not hyper ketosis friendly. Thank you, baby. But listen, girl, this is better than me falling completely off the wagon and just going crazy. So keto it is. I got my 6 wings. I have my leftover fajitas from last night. I did put a little cheese on there. This is a 0-carb tortilla. And this is how we're rocking. Time check, it's 8:41. So that is what I ate all week. Girl, I had a real moment of hardness where I almost opened up a whole box of white cheddar Cheez-Its and wanted to run through them, but I didn't. I held on to my promise because I am like a couple days before I'm getting ready to start my cycle. And if you're anything like me, that week before you start your cycle, it's like my sleep starts messing up and my stomach starts hurting. I honestly didn't have any stomach aches at all this week, which was the biggest thing because I had been eating kind of crazy these last maybe well, not this last month, the month before that, and my stomach was hurting so bad where I was having that burning pain again. None of that. Of course, my shoulders are still good. No inflammation in my wrists or ankles. My stomach felt flat, like because I was letting my food fully digest by fasting those 16 to 18 hours. It just makes such a huge difference. As I said earlier in the video, I lost 8.2 pounds. I was not expecting to lose that much, but obviously it was a lot of water weight. But besides just the weight that I lost, I feel like my skin is glowing again. I don't have like that dull look in my face. I always have like this dull kind of luster on my skin. It just kind of goes away when I don't eat clean, like when I'm eating a lot of processed foods, or if I have a lot of carbs, or if I get into a carb fest or carb loading. It's just like I can absolutely see it in my skin. And when I get back into ketosis, which I can feel, my skin starts, honey, my skin starts glowing, and I love that for me. I love that for me so much. But yeah, it was it was hard, but it was a really good 5 days. And I think for me, I need to have a little bit of a break from hyperketosis on the weekends. So like on the weekends, so Saturday and Sunday, I just eat ketogenically. So I introduce dairy again. I introduce the oils. I'll have a fatty meat, you know what I mean? And it's like a treat for me. Whereas before, when I would just start out in hyperketosis, you could kind of sometimes overload on the dairy, or overload on the cheese, or overload on the butter and avocado and EVOO and all that. But when you're eating hyperketosis and you kind of cut that out, you realize how big of a treat that is to have some butter to saute your eggs, or to add some oil in the pan to saute some chicken and not steam everything. But it does make a huge difference as far as weight, like taking the weight off. If you're a person who wants to lose weight relatively quickly, this is the way that works for me. Again, I'm not a doctor. You want to consult your doctor. This is not good for everybody to do. It's not safe for everybody to do. So definitely check with your doctor before you follow me or anybody else on the internet that's not qualified. But at the end of the day, carbs and I just don't mix. They don't. And so, unhealthy carbs, the processed ones, the white sugar, loads and loads of sugar. The other thing that I did only drink, and I think I talked about it a little bit, was just my black coffee and water. And I also would have like a bubbly or a Waterloo, which is like the carbonated, 0 sugar, 0 calorie drinks. It's like, carbonated water. A flavored water, that was like a treat I would have at dinner time sometimes. But at the end of the day, honey, I did that. I'm back. So this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, I just, had keto, like a keto lifestyle. I put a little cream in my coffee. We had Starbucks with heavy cream, of course, sugar-free vanilla. If anybody's interested, my Starbucks order when I'm keto and I want a treat, it's the Venti Blonde Americano with steamed heavy cream and sugar-free vanilla. That is my go-to. And so, yeah, it's been really, really good. I feel great. So I want to know how you guys did. How do you feel? And if you're going to do it again. I am going to do it again next week, Monday through Friday, hyperketosis. I think the hardest thing for me was Friday night. We usually have homemade pizza on Friday night, and we didn't, and it was hard, but I did have those wings, which was kind of like a treat. Because by Friday, it's like I just don't want to cook, and I want to order out typically, but the Friday nights, it's tough. But then I just look forward to what I'll be able to eat on Saturday and just do it from there. So that is what I'm doing. I'm also going to be doing an up-and-coming challenge, like and I'll probably talk about this more on my other channel, my finance channel, Moms and Money. I will leave a link down below to that channel about setting up a grocery budget. I want to do this challenge where we're doing $75 per person per week for groceries or food in general. Whether you want to eat out on that budget, it's going to be hard though, girl, because eating out is just so crazily expensive, just like groceries. But I want to do $75 per person per week, which I feel like is doable. In this economy, you're still going to have to do a lot of work to get there, but like $75 per person per week. And I'll go into detail on how that number came about and who kind of came up with this, and see if we can do it. I want to do that and still like eat like hyperketosis, keto, You know, for me, it's hyperketosis during the week. My husband, he goes in and out of hyperketosis. It's kind of tough for him. He will do keto, and my kids absolutely do not do keto. I just cook for them, so it's like I almost have to cook 2 meals sometimes for dinner. But I'm going to do a separate video about that, meal planning, because I feel like that's the key. You got a meal plan is the key to success. You cannot wing this. You cannot go day to day with this. You really literally have to have a meal plan and set in motion for you to be successful, I guess, at any kind of lifestyle, any kind of eating lifestyle. Because when you don't have a plan and you're stuck and you're starving, you'll literally eat anything that's in front of you, and you don't want to fall off on that. So that's where I'm at. Leave a comment down below and let me know how you guys are doing, how you did, and if you will join me again next week, Monday through Friday. We are going to do hyperketosis. We're just going to lock in before these holidays come, because girl, listen, my first holiday party is in like 2 weeks. Middle of November, we're doing a Friendsgiving with my friends. So it's like, I want to be able to enjoy that and just not, you know, feel like I'm going to go down this slippery slope of just, you know, eating all these sweets. So that's where I'm at. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to leave a comment and tell me, give me an update on what's going on with you guys. I love you all so much, and I will see you in the next video.